Giorgi Burduli, Mimirex-ის აღმასრულებელი დირექტორი და თანადამფუძნებელი. Mimirex არის პლატფორმა, რომელიც აკავშირებს მომხმარებლებს იმ სფეროს პროფესიონალებთან, რომლებშიც მათ პრობლემები აქვთ და ჭირდებათ რჩევები და დახმარება, ასევე mentoring. Hi, I'm Giorgi, CEO of Mimirex. While coaching developers on soft skills for hundreds of hours, I discovered their big pain. Every time a developer encounters a problem, they waste up to 1 week on solution discovery, face angry clients, and lose money in the process. This is where we come in. We reduce solution discovery time for developers from 1 week to 1 hour by connecting them with experts in the field who have already solved the problems and know the solutions and can share the solutions with our customers, the developers. To validate this, we spoke with 400 developers and 150 plus experts, and we have a perfect match. The developers, as a result of our solutions, the developers reduce their solution discovery time, get the clients happy, and get paid on time. The experts, on the other hand, turn their extra time into free cash and make an extra impact where it is needed the most. There has never been a better time to enter the market since COVID-19 has accelerated digital product development and facilitated this new skill of learning and interaction online. There are 25 plus million developers in the world, and the number is going to reach 40 million by 2028. It is our goal to reach up to 1 million transactions on the markets like India and USA after we penetrate the Georgian market. And let me tell you about our business model. Our commission is 15% on an average transaction rate of $70 per transaction. And we provide quick and tailored solutions as opposed to our competitors who offer unfiltered information, long and expensive courses, and late and shallow responses to the problems. So we're going to use traditional marketing channels. In Georgia, by the way, we have an extensive network that we're using on the expert side and on the customer side as well. But on a larger scale, we're going to use social media, email marketing, community building, and as well as the referral system. We have a high trust, high motivation, and high competence team of professionals and winners. Myself as CEO, 2 times founder, a former C-level executive. Our CTO, Giorgi, is a senior software engineer delivering products for over 10 years. And our CBDO, Erek Leantadze, is a business development and marketing professional with a stellar track record of over 8 years. At this point, we have developed MVP, and we're testing it on the expert side, and we ask for 55K to penetrate the Georgian market and quickly prepare for scaling. So join us on this journey to bring the future of problem solving.
Thanks. All right. So just to make sure I understand, right? So I'm a developer, and I'm like, oh, crap, I have this issue.
Right.
Oh, I know Tim, I go to your thing and I go, oh, Tim's a great developer. Maybe I can go and like ask him, and I pay for that, right? You take
Yes.
That what happens?
Yes.
Just make sure. I'm just making sure I understand.
Yeah. So it's a platform where you can share a screen via video call, and you have a more experienced, more senior developer, not necessarily senior, but a more experienced one in that specific field, will help you to solve the problem, give you advices, and they can pay you.
And yeah, so what do you think the average, or has any transactions ran through yet, or no?
No, we don't have any transactions running yet, but we are testing the platform on the expert side, and several friends and family are testing on the customer side. And we also had some developers themselves test it. So it seems to be working really well.
What do you think, what's the transaction value?
He said $70.
$70. At this point, as I said before, we spoke with 500 plus developers, and that is the market rate there.
How long is a call typically?
Under 1 hour. Under 1 hour.
$70.
So okay, what kind of developers are we talking about?
What do you mean?
What are their specialties?
Don't boil the ocean. Where are you going to start?
So most of the time, they're saying that this can be integration problems, for example, payment, And even though some developers are already experienced, sometimes they have problems doing certain things, like, for example, automation or payment system integration or things like that. So they connect to someone who will help them solve this problem very quickly, and everyone is happy.
So how do you vet they're a true expert without it being too heavy in terms of verification? Like, are you connecting to GitHub or something like that? Like, I mean.
So we have developed a system of ratings on our platform, reviews and ratings. So basically, we have quantitative and qualitative ratings based on the calls. Like the better reviews they get,
I feel like that's problematic for two reasons. Like, one is, well, in the early days, no one's used the system, so there's basically an empty network problem. There's no real reviews, or like 1 review, 5 reviews, it's not enough signal. And the other is like, I'm just thinking about the problems I've faced, like, and even facing now, like, is also like, just because you got a lot of value out of a call doesn't mean I will, because the topic is completely different potentially, or it's very specific. But also, actually, I would pay $70. I would pay more than that to solve some of the problems.
That's what they're saying.
My dev team's like trying to solve a problem for 1 week or even 1 month, and because they don't know that API very well, or it's not documented on text Stack Overflow. So like, this is like a real problem, but like, what you said wasn't convincing to me, because I'm potentially your customer and you didn't convince me.
I understand your question completely now. And to get back to what you just said, $70 is a very conservative number based on our interviews, because people are saying that they would pay more actually. Yeah. But we came up with this conservative.
But I need more confidence that this person will actually solve the problem, because if I pay $200 and you don't solve the problem, then I'm not going to use your platform again.
Right, exactly. So as I said, I understand your question now, because you were referring to the first time when we launched the platform and the reviews are empty, right?
I mean, even later, because like maybe I have good first experience or second experience, but then I have a terrible third experience.
What if the payment was a success?
Huh? Yeah, that one's hard because, well, I mean, some people are bad actors and will just be like, not successful, not successful. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can find those bad actors and kick them off the platform. So, but a success orientation could be, like, that would be more, I would pay more if I knew that this person was actually going to solve the problem. Like, if I had that confidence, I will pay more money, because I don't want to pay consulting money and then the problem's still not solved.
I understand what you're saying. So we do not want to have a very heavy vetting process, not to disrupt the automation of the platform. But what we are trying to do is we're trying to attract the best possible developers out there. In Georgia, let me tell you that our team has a very extensive network of developers around us, and we are going to start by doing that. But we are going to start from this network. And plus, we have a stellar reputation, every team member, and this is our first bet when we launch the platform publicly. But on a larger scale, we will have to get feedback. I mean,
just on that, have you identified, normally this is an 80-20 situation where 10 of the things are the most asked for, and then you have a few random things. Have you identified what clearly is going to be the most things that people are going to need help on? Like which technology,
in Georgia, the ones we have spoken to are naming these two top things. So it's automation and it's payment integration, API integration, and also working with servers. So many of the developers are having.
I mean, one trick always is to see the liquidity of the marketplace, right? So you get 5 really good experts in those 3 things. And if that's going to be 60 or 70% of the initial, you're covering that with great experts. So you take a risk with the long tail.
This is why I'm not saying it definitely. So once we get the actual transactions, we will know exactly like what kinds of categories get more customers. So this is why I was being too conservative.
Sure. I mean, I think there's an opportunity here that maybe you've looked at this or not, because like to your point, like onboarding and vetting, like what are you good at? Like a lot of it comes down to like what code have you actually pushed? Because like if part of the onboarding is just give us your GitHub account, like you can run machine learning and like quickly extract what APIs have you used, what frameworks do you do, like how, like, okay, maybe you're using React, okay, how many commits have you had, how long have you been coding in React? Like this is all data that exists on their GitHub.
You can mine it from GitHub, yeah.
Yeah, like you can just mine GitHub to extract that, and then you can layer on the qualitative side of saying, is this person actually a good consultant? Which is different, right? Like, I mean, can they actually help you understand the problem and actually help you solve it? Because then it's not just they have a skill, they can solve it, but they can actually help someone else solve it, which is a different type of thing. If you combine these two, like that is actually super, like I can imagine so many people are interested, particularly because actually Stack Overflow comments have dropped by 50% since ChatGPT came out with Copilot. Because like, people aren't posting on Stack Overflow, they're just going to ChatGPT Plus and putting the answer, or they're using Copilot, or they're using Cursor. Like, so that's a problem. Stack Overflow's business is being tanked right now. So it's actually an opportunity for you, because most people solve these problems just by going on Stack Overflow. But now that is going away, and the LLMs can't actually solve a bespoke problem. So like, there's actually a space in the market for you now. But like, again, like what you described, like it didn't convince me to be your customer yet. But like, there's something here.
Definitely, and I was while listening to you, I was thinking about our future, because we are going to use our rating system the same way. Like when somebody asks somebody else, like, you know, what you have done in the sphere, they can say that, you know, I have done like 80 plus hours on Mimirex, and I have coached like seven people or 172, and this is my score rating. So, and it's a good thing that you mentioned these platforms, because I have them listed as our competitors. And you were talking about the same direction. So they offer unfiltered information most of the time, and our market gap with platforms like ChatGPT is that we offer real value. Because when you search for something on ChatGPT, you get steps. You get shallow steps, like what steps to take, but most of the time in your local context, for example, in Georgia, ChatGPT doesn't know how to connect to Bank of Georgia or TBC Bank or whatever, some kind of a local payment system or API or something like that.
Well, so, even worse, it'll give you advice that doesn't work or steps that are hallucinating.
And like it does not give you sources. Many of the time.
Yeah, it gives you, because it's outdated, especially newer frameworks. ChatGPT is really bad. Like I was saying the other day, like Flutter's exploding, but it's only been in the last 2 years that Flutter was developed, which means it's pre-ChatGPT training data. So like, you have a market specific thing, but just more focus, like, like the process, like, because you have to get people to convince you to give you money without having experienced the result.
Or brand.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.
Last question. Can you just talk about how you're going to acquire developers to scale?
So we are going to which side of the developer side of the marketplace? Yeah. So
I mean both, but as you scale, you'll need a lot of.
Yeah, thank you for that question. On that side of the marketplace, we're going to use search engine optimization, and also community building is a big thing. Like what we're looking at in Georgia, what we're seeing is that when you're building a community, especially with the developers that we have spoken to, when you're building a community, word travels really fast, and people really understand like where to go to solve the pressing pain and pressing problem they have. So this is one of our biggest things. And also social media, email marketing, and we're going to focus specifically on referrals, because referrals are going to get us where we want to be. Because like the ones we do not get immediately with the community, we're going to focus on the referrals.
I mean, this seems like you're kind of throwing the kitchen sink at acquisition, but you know, I'm just trying to see if you had a acquisition channel you had identified where you're going to go.
This is a lot to do.
This is a lot.
Okay, if you choose one to start, what is it? and why?
I would go with the community because I strongly believe.
Yeah, makes sense. Great. Makes sense. Developer tools, this is a way to do this, so it makes sense.
It's just a slide. But
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your suggestions as well.
Sorry.
Have a great day.
You too, man.
ძალიან მაგრად ჩაიარა, იმაზე ბევრად მაგრად ჩაიარა, ვიდრე ბევრი ადამიანი ელოდება ხოლმე ესეთ შეხვედრებს. ზედმეტიჯერ მკითხეს ერთი და იგივე რაღაცა სხვადასხვა კუთხით. აინტერესებდათ, რამდენად ვიცოდი, რამდენად ვერ ყვეოდი, რამდენად შესწავლილი მქონდა ბაზარი და რამდენად მზად ვიყავი, რომ ცოტა სტრესის ქვეშ მეპასუხა მსგავსი კითხვებისთვის და ჩემი აზრით ჩავაბარე ეს გამოცდა ასე, რომ ნახოთ ხვალ რა იქნება.
Okay. I don't know if people know this company called GLG. It's what they call like an expert panel for business folks. And so what this company does is they do this specifically for programmers. They do this specifically for technical people. And so the company I'm announcing is Mimirex. This